My toxic husband convinced me I was infertile until I got pregnant with my new boyfriend and found out. He was secretly getting vasectomies reversed and redone. My name is Rachel, and I'm sitting in a clinic bathroom stall right now, staring at a positive pregnancy test like it's some kind of alien artifact. My hands won't stop shaking. This shouldn't be possible. For 6 years, I was told it wasn't possible. Let me back up. 3 months ago, I left my husband Evan, not because I wanted to, because I had to, because staying with him was slowly erasing me, piece by piece, until I couldn't recognize myself anymore. But right now, none of that matters. Right now, I'm pregnant, and the only person I've been with since leaving Evan is Tyler, this guy I met at a coffee shop who makes me laugh and doesn't make me feel like I'm crazy for having opinions. I stuff the test in my purse and walk out of the bathroom. The nurse is calling my name for my appointment. I go through the motions. They do blood work. They confirm it. 6 weeks pregnant. Congratulations, the doctor says, smiling at me like this is good news. I can't breathe. She asks me if I'm okay. I tell her I was told I couldn't have children. She pulls up my medical records and frowns. Who told you that? She asks. My ex-husband. He said we tried for years, and his doctor confirmed I had fertility issues. Her frown deepens. Rachel, there's nothing in your medical history suggesting infertility. Have you ever actually been tested? The room tilts sideways. My husband, he said his doctor ran tests on both of us. He showed me paperwork. Do you have copies of these tests? I shake my head. Evan always kept all our medical documents in his office. He said it was easier that way. He worked in medical billing, so I trusted him with that stuff. The doctor is looking at me with this expression I can't quite read. Concern, maybe? Or pity. Rachel, I think you should know that based on your labs and your current pregnancy, there's no indication you ever had fertility problems. I leave the clinic in a daze. I sit in my car for 20 minutes before I can even turn the key. My brain is trying to process two impossible things at once. I'm pregnant, and Evan lied to me, but why would he lie about something like that? We wanted kids. At least I thought we did. He was the one who suggested we start trying right after we got married. He was the one who held me while I cried every month when my period came. He was the one who finally sat me down after 2 years and told me his doctor said I was the problem. I remember that day so clearly. We were in our kitchen. He had printed out some medical documents with big words I didn't understand. He pointed at highlighted sections and explained them to me in this gentle, sad voice. He said it wasn't my fault. He said he still loved me. He said we could look into adoption. I believed him. Of course I believed him. He was my husband. I drive to Tyler's apartment without really deciding to. He opens the door and immediately knows something is wrong. Rachel, what happened? I tell him everything. About the pregnancy. About Evan's lies. About 6 years of my life built on something that wasn't real. Tyler pulls me into his arms and lets me cry. He doesn't say anything stupid like it'll be okay or don't worry about it. He just holds me. When I finally calm down, he asks me what I want to do. I need to understand why, I say. I need to know why he would do this. Tyler nods. Do you want me to come with you? To confront him? If that's what you need, I think about it. Evan's lies are my problem, not Tyler's. But the thought of facing Evan alone makes my stomach turn. Yeah, I say. I'd like that. We drive to Evan's house the next day. It's Saturday afternoon. I know he'll be home because Evan spends every Saturday afternoon watching sports and drinking beer. Some things never change. His car is in the driveway. Tyler parks on the street and asks me one more time if I'm sure. I'm not sure of anything anymore, but I nod anyway. Evan answers the door in sweatpants and a stained t-shirt. He looks surprised to see me. Then he notices Tyler and his expression hardens. Rachel, what are you doing here? We need to talk. About what? You left, remember? You made your choice. His voice has that edge to it. That tone that used to make me want to apologize for existing. But I'm not that person anymore. Why did you tell me I was infertile? He blinks. What? 6 years, Evan. You told me for 6 years that I couldn't have children. You showed me medical documents. You let me think something was wrong with me. Why? Something flickers across his face. Fear, maybe? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm pregnant, Evan. The color drains from his face. That's impossible. That's what I thought too. Until a doctor told me there's nothing wrong with me. There never was. He's staring at me like I just told him the earth is flat. Then his eyes dart to Tyler and back to me, and his expression shifts into something ugly. So you came here to what? Rub it in my face that you're knocked up with some other guy's kid? I came here for the truth. The truth? He laughs, but it sounds wrong. Bitter. The truth is you're a cheater. The truth is you walked out on our marriage. The truth is you lied to me. I interrupt. And I want to know why. For a moment, I think he's going to slam the door in my face. But then his shoulders sag and something in him seems to break. Fine. You want the truth? Come in. Tyler tenses beside me. Rachel, I don't think it's fine, I say, though I'm not sure it is. We follow Evan inside. The house looks the same as it did when I lived here, except messier. Evan was always particular about keeping things clean. Seeing dishes piled in the sink and mail scattered across the coffee table feels wrong. Evan goes to his office and comes back with a folder. He throws it on the table in front of me. There. That's your truth. I open the folder. Inside are medical documents, but not the ones Evan showed me 6 years ago. These are different. They're records of vasectomy procedures. Multiple procedures. All for Evan Carter. The first one is dated 7 years ago. 3 months before our wedding. My hands start shaking again. I don't understand. Evan sits down heavily on the couch. I got a vasectomy before we got married. Why? Because I didn't want kids, Rachel. I never wanted kids, but you did. And I knew if I told you that, you wouldn't marry me. The words don't make sense. We talked about having children before we got engaged. He said he wanted a big family. He said he couldn't wait to be a dad. But you said, I know what I said. I said what you wanted to hear. I'm still staring at the documents. There are more pages underneath. More procedures. What are these other ones? Evan rubs his face. Vasectomy reversals. You reversed it? 3 times. My brain can't process this. Why would you reverse it if you didn't want kids? Because I did want them. Then I didn't. Then I did again. Then I changed my mind. He's not making any sense. Tyler is reading over my shoulder now, his face getting darker with every page. This one's from 2 years ago, Tyler says. You got it reversed 2 years ago. Then reversed again 6 months later. Evan won't look at us. I know. And this one. Tyler flips through more pages. You got another reversal done 8 months ago. 4 months before Rachel left you. So what? Evan snaps. They're my medical decisions. But you told Rachel she was the one who couldn't have kids, Tyler says, his voice tight with anger. You let her think for 6 years that something was wrong with her. I panicked, okay? After the first vasectomy, she kept asking why we weren't getting pregnant. I didn't know what to say, so I told her it was her problem. I thought it would buy me time to figure out what I wanted. I feel like I'm going to be sick. 6 years, Evan. You didn't need 6 years to figure out what you wanted. It wasn't that simple. Then explain it to me. Because right now, all I'm hearing is that you're a liar who destroyed my self-esteem for half a decade because you couldn't make up your mind. Evan stands up and starts pacing. You want the full story? Fine. I got the vasectomy because I was terrified of being a father. My dad was a nightmare and I didn't want to turn into him. But then we got married and you were so happy and I thought maybe I could do it. So I got it reversed. That doesn't explain. I'm getting there. He cuts me off. The reversal didn't work. Not right away. The doctor said it could take time. Meanwhile, you were getting more and more upset every month. I thought if you knew I was the problem, you'd leave me. So I told you it was your fault. That's not better, Evan. That's actually worse. I know. He's almost shouting now. I know it's worse, but I was scared and stupid, and by the time I realized how bad I'd messed up, it had been so long that I couldn't figure out how to tell you the truth. What about the other reversals? Tyler asks. You kept getting them reversed and redone. Why? Evan stops pacing. He won't look at either of us. Evan, I say, why? Because every time the reversal worked and I got close to actually being able to get you pregnant, I panicked. I'd schedule another vasectomy. Then I'd feel guilty and get it reversed again. It was a cycle. The room is spinning. I sit down before I fall down. The last reversal, I say quietly, 8 months ago. That was when you started being nicer to me. You kept saying we should try adoption. You were being different. The reversal worked that time. Really worked. My sperm count was back to normal. I was going to tell you. I was going to come clean about everything, but you didn't. Because you left me before I could. I start laughing. I can't help it. It's either laugh or scream. So let me get this straight. You spent 6 years lying to me about fertility issues you created. You let me think I was broken. You watched me cry and blame myself. And your defense is that you were planning to tell me the truth right before I left you? Rachel, no, I'm not done. You know why I left you, Evan? It wasn't because of the kids thing. It was because you made me feel worthless. Every day you found some new way to make me feel small and stupid and wrong. The infertility thing was just part of it. I never meant to. You never mean anything, Evan. That's your problem. You just do whatever feels easiest in the moment and deal with the consequences later. Except you don't deal with them. You just lie more. He opens his mouth to respond, but Tyler cuts him off. I think we should go, Rachel. I'm not ready to leave yet. There's still something that doesn't add up. The medical documents you showed me 6 years ago. The ones that supposedly proved I was infertile. Where did you get them? Evan looks away. I made them? You what? I work in medical billing. I know how the forms look. I just created fake ones. The betrayal hits me all over again. Fresh and sharp. You forged medical documents to lie to your wife. I'm sorry. That's fraud, Evan. That's actual legal fraud. His face goes pale. You're not going to tell anyone? I don't know yet. Right now, I'm too angry to think straight. I stand up. Tyler's right. We need to leave before I do something I regret. For what it's worth, Evan says as we're walking to the door. I'm glad you're pregnant. I'm glad you found someone who can give you what you wanted. I turn back to look at him. It's worth nothing, Evan. Absolutely nothing. We leave. I don't cry until we're back in Tyler's car. Then I sob so hard I can barely breathe. Tyler pulls over and holds me until the tears stop. What are you gonna do? He asks when I've calmed down enough to speak. I don't know. I need to process all this. Do you want to stay at my place tonight? I shake my head. I need to be alone. I need to think. He drives me back to my apartment. Before I get out, he touches my arm. Rachel, the baby. Are you going to keep it? It's the question I've been avoiding asking myself. I think so. Maybe. I don't know. Is that okay? It's your choice, he says. Whatever you decide, I'm here. That night, I lie in bed and stare at the ceiling. My phone keeps buzzing with texts from Evan. I don't read them. Instead, I think about everything he told me. The lies. The forged documents. The multiple procedures. The 6 years of letting me believe I was broken. And then I think about something else. Something that's been nagging at me since we left Evan's house. I grab my laptop and start searching. Medical records. Vasectomy reversal success rates. Recovery times. The more I read, the less Evan's story makes sense. Vasectomy reversals are expensive. Really expensive. And they're not usually covered by insurance. Evan and I shared our finances when we were married. I handled the bank accounts. I would have noticed thousands of dollars disappearing, unless he had money I didn't know about. I open my banking app and look at our old joint account. It's still active. Evan never closed it after I left. There's barely anything in it now, but I scroll back through the transaction history. There, 4 years ago, a large withdrawal, $12,000. The memo says medical procedure. I remember this. Evan told me he needed surgery for a hernia. He said his insurance covered most of it, but we had to pay the deductible. I never questioned it, except now I'm questioning everything. I keep scrolling. 2 years ago, another large withdrawal, $9,000. Memo, medical procedure. Evan told me that was for a torn rotator cuff from playing basketball. all. Again, I believed him 8 months ago. $11,000. He told me that one was for dental work, root canals, and crowns. None of it was true. It was all vasectomy reversals. But where did the money for the original vasectomy come from? That was before we got married, before we shared finances. I need more information. The next morning, I call Evan's younger brother, Mike. We used to be close before the separation. He's the only member of Evan's family I actually liked. Rachel? Hey, I heard you and Evan split up. I'm sorry. Thanks, Mike. Listen, I need to ask you something about Evan, and it's going to sound weird. Okay. Before Evan and I got married, did he come into any money? Like an inheritance or something? There's a pause. Why are you asking? I can't explain right now, but it's important. Another pause. Yeah, actually, his grandfather died about 8 months before your wedding. Left him $30,000. My stomach drops. Evan told me that money went to paying off his student loans. What? No, Evan didn't have student loans. He got a full ride to college. Another lie. Of course it was another lie. Mike, I need you to think really carefully about this next question. Did Evan ever talk to you about not wanting kids? What? No, he always said he wanted a big family. Why? I thank Mike and hang up before he can ask more questions. So Evan used his inheritance to get a vasectomy right before our wedding. Then he lied about where the money went. Then he spent years manipulating me and lying to me and using our shared money to reverse and re-reverse the vasectomy without telling me. I'm still processing all of this when my phone rings. It's a number I don't recognize. Hello? Is this Rachel Carter? Yes? This is Detective Jennifer Walsh with the County Prosecutor's Office. I'm calling about a complaint we received regarding forged medical documents. Do you have a few minutes to talk? My heart stops. Yes, but I didn't file any complaint. The complaint came from a physician's office. Apparently, they were contacted by a patient asking questions about medical documents that appeared to be fraudulent. That patient listed you as the person who received these documents. Is this correct? The doctor from the clinic. She must have reported it. Yes. My ex-husband created fake medical documents and told me they were real test results. Can you come down to the station to give a statement? I look at the folder Evan gave me, still sitting on my coffee table. I can do better than that. I have documentation of his actual medical procedures, the ones he was hiding from me. 3 hours later, I'm sitting in a police station conference room, walking Detective Walsh through everything. The lies, the vasectomies, the reversals, the forged documents, the stolen money from our joint account used for procedures he never told me about. Detective Walsh takes notes and says very little. When I'm done, she sits back in her chair. This is more complex than a simple forgery case. You're describing fraud, financial abuse, and potentially medical malpractice, given that he prevented you from seeking actual medical treatment by convincing you that you had a condition you didn't have. What happens now? We'll investigate. Based on what you've told me and the documents you've provided, there's definitely grounds for criminal charges. But I need to be honest with you, Rachel. These kinds of cases are complicated. Evan could argue that he was trying to protect your marriage, or that he was having a mental health crisis. He has defenses, so he might get away with it. He might face consequences that aren't as severe as you'd like, but that doesn't mean we won't try. I leave the police station feeling hollowed out. I did what I needed to do. Whether it leads to anything is out of my hands now. Tyler calls me that afternoon. How are you holding up? I've been better. I talked to the police. Really? The doctor from the clinic reported the forged documents. They called me in for a statement. Good. Evan shouldn't get away with what he did. Tyler, I need to ask you something. Anything. This baby. If I keep it, I know we haven't been together very long. I don't expect anything from you, but I need to know if you're going to be involved or if I'm doing this alone. He's quiet for a moment. Then he says, "Can I come over?" This feels like a conversation we should have in person. 20 minutes later, he's sitting on my couch. He takes my hands. Rachel, I'm not going to pretend I was planning to be a father right now. We've been dating for 3 months. This is fast and it's scary and I don't know what I'm doing. My heart sinks. Okay, but, he continues, I'm also not going to abandon you or this baby. If you decide to keep it, I want to be there. As much as you'll let me. You mean that? I mean that. Look, I don't know if we're going to work out long term. I hope we do. But even if we don't, this baby didn't ask to be brought into a complicated situation. And you definitely don't deserve to go through this alone after everything Evan put you through. I kiss him. Not because it's romantic, but because it's the first time in a long time that someone has shown up for me without conditions. The next few weeks are a blur. I have morning sickness that lasts all day. I hire a lawyer to help me sort out my finances with Evan. The police investigation continues. Then I get a call from Detective Walsh. Rachel, we've arrested Evan Carter. He's being charged with fraud, forgery, and financial exploitation. He's arrested? Right now? He's being processed as we speak. His bail hearing is tomorrow. I wanted you to know before it hits the news. Thank you. I hang up and immediately call Mike. Did you know Evan got arrested? What? No, for what? I explain everything. The vasectomy, the lies, the forged documents, all of it. Mike is quiet for a long time. I don't know what to say, Rachel. I knew Evan could be a jerk sometimes, but this is, yeah, for what it's worth, I believe you. And I'm sorry. If I'd known what he was doing, I would have said something. I know you would have. The news of Evan's arrest spreads quickly. I start getting calls from people I haven't talked to in years. Everyone wants to know if it's true. If Evan really did all those things, I stop answering the phone. Tyler suggests I stay with him for a while, just until things calm down. You shouldn't be dealing with the stress while you're pregnant. He's right. I pack a bag and move into his apartment temporarily. 3 days later, my lawyer calls. Rachel, you need to sit down for this. What happened? Evan's lawyer contacted me with a settlement offer. Evan is willing to waive all claims to marital assets in the divorce. He'll give you the house, the car, half his retirement account, and a cash settlement settlement of $75,000 if you're willing to provide a statement to the prosecutor asking for leniency. He wants me to help him avoid jail time. Essentially, yes. Tell him to go to hell. My lawyer chuckles. That's what I thought you'd say. But I had to present the offer. Is there any chance he actually goes to prison for this? There's a chance. The prosecutor seems motivated, but I'll be honest, Rachel. Most men in Evan's position get probation and a fine, maybe some community service. So he destroys my life and gets a slap on the wrist. Unfortunately, that's often how these things work. I hang up feeling defeated. Tyler finds me crying on his couch and holds me while I explain what my lawyer said. That's not fair. He says, nothing about this is fair. But then something happens that I don't expect. Other women come forward. I'm scrolling through Facebook one night when I see a post in a local women's group. The subject line catches my eye. Anyone else have an ex who lied about fertility? I click on it. The woman's name is Amber. She's telling a story that sounds eerily familiar. Her ex-boyfriend convinced her she had endometriosis and couldn't have children. She believed him for 4 years. After they broke up, she got pregnant with her current husband and discovered there was nothing wrong with her. I send her a private message. This might sound crazy, but was your ex named Evan Carter? She responds within minutes. Oh my God, yes. How did you know? We arranged to meet for coffee. Amber brings medical records. Her ex-boyfriend Evan told her she had severe endometriosis. He showed her test results and medical reports. I pull out my phone and show her the forged documents Evan created for me. Her hands start shaking. These look almost identical. The format, the letterhead, everything. Evan worked in medical billing. He knew how to make them look real. That son of a... Amber stops herself. I can't believe this. I spent 4 years thinking I was broken. I was so depressed I almost... She trails off. Almost what? I almost hurt myself. More than once. I felt so worthless. My chest tightens. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. It's his. She looks at me. You said he got arrested for doing this to you? Yeah, there's an investigation. Can I talk to them? I want to press charges too. I give her Detective Walsh's number. 2 days later, Detective Walsh calls me. Rachel, I need you to know that Amber's testimony changes things significantly. This isn't an isolated incident anymore. This is a pattern of behavior. What does that mean for Evan? It means the prosecutor is pushing for jail time. Real jail time, not just probation. Over the next week, 2 more women come forward. Both of them were in relationships with Evan before he met me. Both of them have similar stories. Evan convinced them they had fertility problems. He showed them forged medical documents. He made them feel broken. One of them, a woman named Jessica, tells me something that makes my blood run cold. Evan told me he did it because he wanted to see if he could. Like it was some kind of experiment. He said women were easier to control when they thought something was wrong with them. I think about all the times Evan made me doubt myself, about how he'd tell me I was remembering things wrong or being too sensitive, about how he'd convince me that my reactions were unreasonable. It wasn't just about the baby thing. The fertility lie was a tool, a way to break me down and make me easier to manipulate. The trial happens 6 months later. I'm visibly pregnant by then. The prosecutor uses it as part of her argument. She shows the jury a photo of me at 7 months along and talks about how Evan tried to steal this from me. Evan's lawyer argues that Evan was confused about his own feelings regarding fatherhood, that he made mistakes but never intended to hurt anyone, that he's seeking therapy and taking responsibility for his actions. The jury doesn't buy it. They find him guilty on all charges. The judge sentences him to 3 years in prison, followed by 5 years of probation. It's not enough, but it's something. After the sentencing, Jessica approaches me in the courthouse hallway. Can I tell you something? Something I never told the police because I didn't think they'd believe me? Of course. Evan kept notebooks, like journals. He wrote about all of us, about how he manipulated us and what techniques worked best. I saw them once when I was at his apartment. He caught me looking and got really angry. Made me promise never to mention them. Did you tell Detective Walsh about this? No. Like I said, I didn't think anyone would believe me. It sounded too crazy. Where did he keep them? In his office. In a locked drawer in his desk. That night, I call my lawyer. Is there any way to get access to Evan's house? Legally? What are you looking for? Evidence. More evidence of what he did. Rachel, the trial is over. He's been convicted. I know. But if there's proof that this was premeditated, that he was deliberately psychologically torturing women as some kind of sick experiment, don't the other victims deserve to know? My lawyer sighs. Let me make some calls. It takes 2 weeks, but Detective Walsh gets a warrant to search Evan's house. They find the notebooks Jessica mentioned. There are 7 of them, dating back over 10 years. Detective Walsh calls me to come look at them. I bring Tyler for support. The notebooks are worse than I imagined. Evan documented everything. How he chose his targets. What vulnerabilities to exploit. How to make the fake medical documents look authentic. Which lies worked best on which women. There's an entry about me from our second date. It says, Rachel seems insecure about her weight and her career. These will be useful leverage points. She's eager to please and doesn't like conflict. Easy target. I feel sick reading it. But then I see something that makes me actually gasp. It's an entry from about a year ago. Rachel is starting to pull away. She's becoming less responsive to the usual techniques. May need to consider letting her go before she figures things out. But first, one last reversal. If I can get her pregnant, maybe she'll stay. If not, I'll file for divorce and blame her. He was planning to leave me, I say out loud. He was going to get me pregnant and then leave me. Tyler reads over my shoulder. This is psychotic, Detective Walsh nods. These notebooks are being turned over to a forensic psychologist. There's a possibility Evan might be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder or something similar. It could affect his sentence. Make it longer or shorter, could go either way. But the prosecutor wants to use these to file additional charges. Stalking, harassment, psychological abuse, things we couldn't charge him with with before because they're hard to prove without documentation. So he might go to prison for longer? It's possible. 3 months later, I give birth to a healthy baby girl. Tyler is there for the delivery. He holds my hand and cries when she's born. We name her Lily, not because it has any special meaning, just because it's pretty and innocent and everything Evan never was. Evan files an appeal from prison based on the forensic psychologist's evaluation. He argues that he wasn't in control of his actions due to mental illness. The appeal is denied. 2 years pass. Lily learns to walk and talk. Tyler and I get engaged, then married. We buy a house. We're building a life together that's nothing like the one I had with Evan. I get a letter one day. It's from Evan's mother, Linda. She wants to meet Lily. She says Evan made mistakes, but he's still Lily's. And then she stops herself because she realizes Lily isn't Evan's child at all. The letter is confused and rambling. It's clear Linda doesn't fully understand what her son did or why he's in prison. She still thinks this is all a misunderstanding. I don't respond to the letter, but I do start writing. Not about Evan specifically, but about my experience. About what it's like to be gaslit by someone you love. About rebuilding yourself after betrayal. I start a blog, then a podcast. Other women reach out with their own stories. Not all of them are about fertility lies, but they're all about manipulation and control, and learning to trust yourself again. One day, I get a message from a woman named Olivia. She says she was engaged to Evan 10 years ago. She broke it off when she found out he'd been lying to her about having a terminal illness. I always wondered why he did it, she writes. I thought maybe he was just broken. But after reading your story, I realized it wasn't about being broken. It was about breaking us. She's right. That's exactly what it was about. Evan's sentence gets extended by another 2 years due to the additional charges related to the notebooks. He'll be in prison until Lily is starting kindergarten. Sometimes I wonder if he regrets what he did. If he lies awake at night thinking about all the damage he caused. If he understands now that he didn't just lie about fertility, he tried to destroy the fundamental sense of self-worth of every woman he dated. But mostly, I don't think about him at all. I think about Lily, about her first words and her first steps, and the way she laughs when Tyler pretends to be a monster chasing her around the house. I think about the women who came forward and how brave they were to speak up even when they knew people might not believe them. I think about the fact that my body wasn't broken, that the only thing broken was Evan's ability to be honest. Tyler and I talk about having another baby. This time it's a conversation, a mutual decision. Not something done to me or decided for me, but something we choose together. I get pregnant again when Lily is 3. Another girl. We name her Rose. When Rose is 6 months old, I get another letter. This one is from Evan directly. He wants to apologize. He says he's been in therapy and he understands now what he did wrong. He says he hopes someday I can forgive him. I read the letter once and then put it through the shredder. Because here's what Evan doesn't understand. Forgiveness isn't something he gets to ask for. It's not a transaction where he does his time, says sorry, and gets absolved. Some things don't deserve forgiveness. Some betrayals are too deep. Evan didn't just lie to me. He didn't just manipulate me. He tried to convince me that my body was defective so he could control me better. He watched me cry month after month and felt satisfied that his plan was working. He documented it in notebooks like I was some kind of lab rat, and he did it to multiple women. Over years. Systematically. That's not someone who made mistakes. That's someone who enjoyed causing pain. So no, Evan, I don't forgive you. I don't think about you. I don't care about your therapy or your growth or your regrets. I have 2 beautiful daughters, a husband who actually loves me, and a life built on honesty instead of lies. You can't touch that. You never could. That's my revenge. Not seeing you punished. Not telling everyone what you did. My revenge is being happy, being whole, being the person you tried so hard to break and failing, because in the end, you didn't make me infertile. You didn't make me worthless. You didn't make me anything except stronger. And when Lily and Rose are old enough to ask about their biological father, because someday they will, I'll tell them the truth. Not to poison them against you, but to teach them something important. I'll teach them that sometimes people lie. Sometimes people manipulate. Sometimes people will try to make you doubt yourself. But your body, your mind, your worth, those things aren't up for debate. Those things are yours, and no one gets to take them from you. Not even someone who was supposed to love you. Especially not someone who was supposed to love you. The notebooks are sealed now. Evidence in a closed case. But Detective Walsh made copies for all the women who wanted them. I have mine in a locked box in my closet. I don't look at them often. But sometimes when I'm having a hard day, when I'm doubting myself or feeling overwhelmed, I open that box. Not to read what Evan wrote, but to remind myself that I survived him, I'd say. Survived years of gaslighting and manipulation and psychological warfare disguised as marriage. I survived. Discovering that my entire understanding of my own body was based on lies. I survived the investigation and the trial and the media attention. I survived all of it. And then I built something beautiful on the other side. That's the story I want to tell. Not the one about what Evan did to me. The one about what I did after. I turned pain into purpose, betrayal into advocacy, darkness into light. And every time I watch Lily and Rose playing together, laughing and happy and whole, I know that Evan lost. He lost everything. His freedom, his reputation, his chance to be the person he pretended to be, while I gained everything. My truth, my voice, my family. That's not justice. Not really. Justice would be Evan understanding the full scope of harm he caused and actually feeling remorse. But it's something better than justice. It's peace. And peace, I've learned, is the best revenge of all.